That's awesome. Wow. That's
go big or go home, right?
That's better than like bar mitzvah quality.
Cast away. All right, cast one Game of Thrones character with someone you went to camp with.
Oh, okay. That's great. That's great. Hodor would obviously be the giant, quiet kid who knew about Croc Rock when we were in Halloween. Here we are, and welcome to a very special episode of the Friday Night Movie Podcast. Joined here by my two sisters, as well as a special guest. Before we get to the special guest, Lily, how are you?
I'm good. I was hanging out with you last week, and now I'm hanging out with Mom and Dad in Philadelphia with Ari at their apartment. There's a lot of shenanigans.
A lot of shenanigans. Becky, how are you?
I'm a little bit over all of the harassing messages you were sending me, letting me know that you're ready to start recording, and we're on, and we're ready, and I'm aware. I obviously have other things going on today. Cool your jets. I'm here.
I likes to keep you on a 1 minute update.
Yeah, every minute.
You know what?
Letting you know how many minutes late we are.
But one of my best things I figured out how to do was this. Becky, how's it going? I muted her.
It is quite the technological advancement.
Hilarious. He muted me. Oh my god.
Now let's get
so funny.
Now let's get to our guest.
Professional writer.
One of the original members of the family, who first joined us in one of our most downloaded episodes ever, the Muppet Babies episode.
The Muppet Babies.
We are joined by the fourth sibling, Alon. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Alon, were you secretly promoting that episode that it has the most downloads?
It's just an enduring. Yeah, well, everyone, word of mouth. I went up to people on the street and just yelled Muppet Babies. And
I figured on the subway you were probably ranting about it or something.
Yeah, I was selling CDs.
So the last time we had you on, we were in your bathroom in your apartment.
That is true. That was a quick special appearance.
It was.
That was the second time.
That was very stressful.
That was an intense episode. How have you been since?
I was mostly in that bathroom. It's a great place for me. It's where my happiest moments are.
So when you were here on that episode last time, we talked about Game of Thrones. That was we also talked about Outlander, but Outlander hasn't had a big milestone the way Game of Thrones has. Game of Thrones just ended. And we just did our Game of Thrones finale episode last week, but I think people still have stuff they want to get off their chest. And so, just quickly, before we get into the show, what's your general reaction to the finale? How did you feel about where everything ended up?
I felt like the finale was so kind of culturally couched in everyone's online discussion of how disappointing or didn't live up to certain kind of models of male or female leadership they were hoping for. It was hard to kind of perceive it as an artifact without thinking about all those things. I think that generally I found it very satisfying entertainment. I felt like there were some wonderfully ridiculous holes in it, which I don't know if I should get into now.
Yeah, we can spoiler alert.
Bring a couple holes.
We love a few holes because we liked it. I would say generally
we all liked it.
The Friday Night Movie editorial board says thumbs up on the finale of Game of Thrones, and we can accept it with all of the holes because I would argue there were holes all along in this show. So if you like this show, and you accepted some of the ridiculous things that happened before, you have to be okay with the end.
Yeah, I agree. The hole that recurred for me throughout the season was the very lax approach to prisoner visitations. I don't think this would exist in any other society, where you just go up to the guard, you say, I want to go in, they let you in, they give you an hour for making a plot, an hour for freeing the prisoner, and then never knock. And then the prisoners then later are the ones who are deemed most reliable to give political advice for who should leave.
So that I think that sums up a lot of the show. Another thing we're going to talk about today that we're going to premiere, and I'm going to show it on the screen for the viewers at home, and you've seen the message on Instagram already, but the Friday Night Movie home game. And
what do you mean you're going to show it on the screen for the viewers at home?
I'm joking.
What does that mean?
It's a joke.
Oh.
It's a joke.
Oh, to us?
Like
We
as
can't
if-
even see it
as
because
if-
it's blurry. You have to put it right in front of your face. No, you have to put it right in front of your face. It's like the only depth that works.
What is this
Yeah.
camera?
It's Skype's new feature so that when people have video calls, they don't have to worry about like their crap in the background being in the picture.
I mean, you can still see all of my crap and all of Shy's crap.
It's just a bit blurry.
Just
But
blurry.
it's very
It's just
annoying.
messier.
Yeah. It makes you assume that it's all like
So
explicit.
the Friday Night Movie home
Exactly.
game. The Friday Night Movie home game is a card game that we created, that of which we have a few prototypes. We'll be bringing them with us to All Star Comic Con. We'll be giving maybe one or two away as well. And the way it works is there are two types of cards. There is an activity card or a bit card, because each of those cards represents a bit.
Is that like a Bitcoin?
Not a Bitcoin, although maybe winners can. Maybe we will only accept Bitcoin if purchasing these to purchase these. So a bit card has a bit from the show on it. If it is a bit card that requires a topic, then you pull a card from the topic pile, for which there are. I would say 30 or so topics that are regular topics on the Friday Night Movie show, but in the long term, we'll invent expansion packs as well with new topics. But the great
We're
thing
already
about
making expansion packs.
the great thing about this game is that you can just use the bit cards to help, guide a discussion. And in every game, you always have a host who is the person delivering the cards. You can rotate that job as well, and that person has to do a little bit of hosting in their process of a bit. So I'm going to shuffle the cards. You can hear me shuffling the cards.
I genuinely feel like if we sold this game on Amazon, it would be like huge.
So maybe we should. So look,
I feel like we should do like a Kickstarter for this game.
Shy already said you're only accepting Bitcoin, so unfortunately it's not going to work out as a business.
so here we go. I'm shuffling the cards. And
Oh my god, guys, it's our first real sound effect.
That wasn't really.
That was Foley work.
And I'm going to pull a bit card, but I'm going to apply the bit card to Game of Thrones as our topic, since Alon, we were on that subject. And here we have a top 3 card. So as the host, I will say, Alon, name your top 3 characters from the overall core cast, from the main characters. So a Stark, a Targaryen, not so one of the key side characters, maybe a Lannister, but like
You can't say Stannis Baratheon.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody wants
Shy
to
does
say.
not want anyone to talk about the Baratheon. Anyone who was alive before the Red Wedding is, or like
Not allowed.
Wait, no.
not
Stannis?
alive. Anyone who died. You know what I mean? Died by the Red Wedding. Is not allowed
just
to be.
they have to be a character to which significant time was devoted to their arc. Stannis Baratheon is actually okay.
He had 5 seasons.
Yeah, he was around.
I'm just talking about like Melvin Bolton, like there's always some nerd on the internet who's like, there wasn't enough about Catelyn Stark's third nephew. Eh.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
your top 3 characters from all of Game of Thrones.
It's hard because so few of them are
Is it though?
real.
I don't think it's that hard.
Okay, I want you guys to go first.
All right, Becky,
Nope.
Becky, you go first.
I'll
My
just
top
go
3 characters:
Arya, Jaime, Tyrion.
Sansa, Arya, Brienne.
Oh, wait, okay, you both said them at the same time.
Sansa, Arya, Brienne.
Lily?
Arya, Jaime, Tyrion.
I'm going to go Sansa, Tyrion, Arya. And I would have liked to have seen a Sansa Tyrion sort of team up at the end. That would have been an alternative happy ending for me.
They hinted at that.
Would be the two of them sort of teaming up.
I saw an interview with Peter Dinklage where he was like, he's supposed to be the smartest man in the world, but he brings everyone into the crypts when he knows that the army of the dead raises the dead.
That's hilarious.
So your top 3 characters.
So obviously Arya is a top 3 character, and then I would also I like Sir Davos because I feel like he's kind of he's a little bit of a stand-in for the audience, kind of like bemused by the goings on and easy to root for as kind of like
That's a good point.
0% evil avuncular figure. Plus, he's
the audience avatar.
Exactly.
As a term I've learned recently from Mike
from
Roberts.
the great Mike Roberts.
Yes, he's an audience avatar, just going along with his pretty solid beard. And God, I don't know. I guess I would also I like the Hound. He was a great.
The Hound is a great character.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah. The Hound is clearly a character to me that only survived because he was people's favorite.
Yeah.
That was when the
Right.
Hound survived. To me, that was actually, I love the Hound, but that was a moment when the show was selling out. When
During the Battle
When she
of
leaves him
Winterfell.
to die?
whenever he survived, when Arya leaves him
Oh,
all
right.
pussy in the woods.
Before he
Yeah.
meets
Then
the guy
Ian
from Deadwood.
McShane takes care of him for like
Yeah.
a hot
And
second.
then that guy dies for 5 seconds. Yeah, 5 seconds. But if I had 5, I'd have the Hound and Brienne on there.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, now I'm going to pull another card, a bit card. So this is a Rex RX. Okay, so Rex RX, I don't know if you've played that game yet, and the topic is going to be aliens. Okay, and Rex RX is you develop a situation in life, maybe a sick day at home, or an acute attack of lactose intolerance, and you recommend either a show or movie to help.
So then I don't think you can put, no offense, we've never played the game before, so this is the first time. I
Hold
haven't
on,
played with the cards.
I'm
I don't see
hosting.
how you
He's in
could
the
give-
middle of hosting.
I'm
But
in
I
the-
don't see how you're going to give the topic of Oh, I get what you mean. Sorry, I didn't understand what you
I'm
mean.
Why don't you let him
This is
finish
why you need a
explaining and then
host.
see
So-
if you get what he means?
Tell me if I got it right. So it's if you have lactose intolerance, this is your dire referral.
I was going to say, not everything has to be a pun. That has to be a pun.
So Rex RX is you essentially have to make a prescription for a situation. So the theme is going to be aliens, okay? And so my scenario is aliens arrive on this planet. Maybe
You're
it's
saying alien movies.
Right, that's what I was
I
wondering.
just have the topic aliens. I'm the host. I can do what I want with it. So aliens have arrived.
Power. Too much power.
Aliens
There need
have
to be
ar-
some rules.
It's a great argument for you to buy it.
In the
And
heart.
it doesn't work.
aliens have arrived on this planet, and you would like to show that we are a tolerant people. Which
Impossible.
Which human representation of aliens do you think would show these aliens that we are willing to accept them and understand them?
So it's in
Like
the
in a
human
movies.
imagination, we see aliens as sympathetic creatures, therefore showing that we can extend our sympathies to this new species that come before we put them in camps and murder them.
So this new species, maybe this new species is going to do the same thing to us,
Yeah.
and we want to show them, look, we're not anti-alien. Look at this movie we made about aliens. It shows we're
I can't think of a
Coneheads.
single movie where we don't try and kill
Coneheads.
the aliens.
Coneheads, aren't they?
Coneheads is a good
That's
one.
a
All right.
good one.
See, I know what I'm doing as the host. All right, Becky, do you have a movie alien?
No, I can't think of a movie where we don't kill all the aliens.
Isn't Arrival?
No, because
Arrival,
they
Arrival.
blow up and kill the aliens at the end. They
Yeah.
actually kill the alien.
Which is the one with
Who are
Jodie
there?
Foster, where she
Contact. Where the aliens are just her dad.
Yeah, the aliens are her dad, or like a wet dream or something.
That's 100% accurate. That's what the description of that movie is.
Yeah.
Maybe like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
They're aliens and they protect the galaxy.
That's a pretty good one. You're right. That's
Pretty
good.
good.
See, that's really expanding the mind of how you talk about aliens. I think if you really wanted to show tolerance to aliens, you got to go actually old school and go with Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, of course.
Because
That was the whole
Yeah,
message
that's a
of
good
the
one.
show.
the whole message of the show is that we are not on this world alone. This universe
What-
alone.
What about Howard the Duck? A movie that
Howard the
should
Duck
never-
shows that iconic American actresses are willing to have sex with aliens because
Yes.
that's the last scene of
No.
that movie is her having
Movie
sex
should
with the
not
duck.
exist. Movie is an abomination.
That movie's an abomination.
All right, we will play one
George
more.
Lucas's best work.
We'll play one more round. Oh no, okay. We'll play one more round, and this is Endgame. Okay, and Endgame just goes on its own, and Endgame doesn't need a topic, and it is in the
Like
theme
Avengers
of Game of. Well, we called it Endgame because it's when something has ended, a movie, a show, a series, something, and you have just been. Well, in this case, we'll say profoundly disappointed by the end, which was the worst of all time. or one that you really did
How
not
would
like?
you change it?
Like
though?
for me, an obvious one, and I'm going to take this one off the table.
God, The Last Jedi. We know.
No.
We know.
I was going to say How I Met Your Mother is the all-time worst ending of a TV show.
God, yes,
ever.
but that also means you have to have watched the whole show, which is also a punishment on its own.
So there you go. So How I Met Your
love
Mother
endings
to me
of
is the all-time worst ending of a show. Do you guys have an ending of a movie you hate or an ending of a show that you don't like? Like if you were warning someone not to start a show right now because, whoa.
Lost. Oh my God, that ending's such a pile of poo, and that's a lot of years invested. You know, I would have just changed it that the ending made remote sense, and they ended it 5 years before, or they ended it after that first season. I don't know. I was profoundly disappointed.
Did you guys watch Catastrophe? I know that's what I brought
Oh,
up.
I'm not done yet.
I'm not finished.
I watched Catastrophe and I loved the end.
I found the ending. I was ambivalent about it, even though I kind of did love it. But it was, whatever. We shouldn't even talk about it. They haven't seen it. Yeah.
Well, you can
No, but
talk about your reaction to it.
Yeah, you were not happy.
I
with
loved
that
it. I
ending?
thought it was. Well, I didn't realize it was the end when I saw the end of Catastrophe, and I was like, I think the show just ended. And I
Yeah.
said, oh, that's kind of a cool ending. All
was-
right. It was in keeping with the theme of the show, but it wasn't resolved.
It wasn't resolved, and it was. I think. You know, because of the type of show it was a fittingly kind of ambiguous and dark ending, but it was kind of sadder than I was hoping it would be.
I see. I interpreted it as actually kind of happy.
So yeah. So.
I interpreted the ending of Catastrophe as like, oh, okay, so this is where we're going.
Yeah.
All right.
So then do watch it.
What about you, Beck?
I feel like a lot of shows that have terrible endings, I've stopped watching before I get to the terrible ending, like
That's
Dexter.
smart. Oh, that's smart.
Like I phased out of Dexter kind of thinking, you know what?
Oh, that's
This
a
show
good
is
point.
it's not going in a direction where I'm going to be satisfied. I'm going to stop here before it gets worse.
That was really smart because Dexter's is a great example. That is a show that I loved, like was passionate about. I would love to recommend that show to so many people that haven't seen it that like love crime and serial killer stuff. But literally, that last season is infuriating. And, I mean, spoiler alert. Does anybody care if I ruin the ending?
No.
I don't. I've already had Lily actually because I never wanted to watch the show. So my drives to work sometimes I'll just have Lily tell me whole seasons of Dexter
So
over the
like
phone.
there was like
So I know everything that happened.
And I can think of the exact moment I stopped watching and why, thinking no matter what happens with this show from now on, I'm not gonna be happy with how it ends. And so in the show, Dexter's a serial killer, and he has an adopted sister who he's raised with as his sister his entire life. It is his sister, and she goes to therapy. It's like season 4 or 5 or something, and all of a sudden in her therapist's office, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm in love with my brother," in like this incestuous love thing.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm not watching the show anymore because no matter where it goes,
It was
I'm not
downhill
gonna like
from there. It was
And I stopped
downhill from
watching
there.
it, and I think it continued to go downhill and had a terrible ending.
It did.
They didn't realize that incest was the wave of the future.
Or they were so cutting edge.
Yeah.
They were
know?
so cutting it.
audience
Yeah, no.
George R. R. Martin really had to throw you just a few more whiffs of incest just at the end of his season. Like, blech.
But like, I wonder how the world would have reacted if Jon Snow was like, "Oh, whatever, you're my aunt. Let's just hook up."
That would have been in keeping with everything else.
They managed to explain it in an offsides conversation where Varys is like, "Men from the north don't do that."
Oh, right.
But they don't ever truly explain why he isn't with her or if he even really loved her.
That was very poorly handled, I thought.
Me too, because if they didn't grow up together and like in their society, in some other societies, in her society, it's acceptable. Then why couldn't he just get on
There
board?
was a lot of Tyrion and Varys just like exposition in those last 2 episodes to make sure we understood what was going on and how things were going to end.
But things were never really explained. But anyways,
I still liked where it all ended up. Okay. And I'm going to throw out one more here. Oh, okay. This is good. This one is
I mean, we can't see it because around your face is blurry.
You have to put it
Just has to
directly
go
in front of your
directly in front
nose.
of your
You have
face.
to put it in front of your nose.
Dream Retcon. So a show or a movie or a series, and we can pick a
How
topic.
many bits did you make up?
Oh my God, Becky, there's 18.
This is not gonna work.
No,
so a dream retcon. So
22.
just a situation where, like, you would change something in a story of a show or a movie. For example, if I could retcon the Muppet Babies,
What does retcon mean?
retroactively change the continuity.
Retroactively change the continuity. Got it.
I feel like it's from
Whoa.
It's from comic books, right? Because they have to constantly justify what they're going to do in the next issue.
Well, that just goes to show how many comic books I read.
So, for example, I would retcon Muppet Babies ever introducing Bean the rabbit. He never should have introduced. He never should have become part of the canon of the Muppets and Muppet
So, like,
Babies.
no Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, exactly. I would retcon out, saying I'd retcon out Jar Jar Binks from, although he's getting he said there's some revisionist history now of sympathy because of how.
Really?
Yeah, because of how terribly, like, the poor actor was treated, like, and like, and the character as bad as he was, ruined the guy's life. So now people are like, Jar Jar wasn't so bad.
Oh, really? It ruined his life.
Yeah, or
nobody knew who he was, right? Because he didn't.
Somehow
I thought
Star Wars
they
nerds
had
paid
him
attention.
acted and then they just CG'd it or something.
But it was his voice. Anyways, so you could also retcon a story element. Like, Becky, you could say, I really wish Dexter never went the sibling route. Here's what I would have done instead.
Anything but that.
Okay, I need to think for a minute.
You guys just don't walk around with lists of shows you would redo things in?
I mean, one show that I was thinking of for the end game, because we never even made it close, was we watched the early seasons of Homeland, and then the second season, I don't know if anybody remembers, but the first season was very tense, and I think it was foisted upon us from many directions because it was based on an Israeli show, so it's very good because it was from Israel, but it was actually very good. And then in the second season, they made a variety of insane decisions, like the main terrorist bad guy, not only did he somehow sneak into the country undetected, but was like living by himself in a warehouse outside of town and like personally killing people. So I think I probably would have had them not do that and do more like ominous scenes where it seems really scary just because somebody's praying. that was what a lot of the first season was.
Yeah,
that's a really good point.
That's a really good. I would, from a retcon standpoint, I can't believe you guys don't walk around thinking like, oh, I really wish they didn't do this. Like, for me, I really wish I would go back and I would make sure that they never introduced the CIA to Sons of Anarchy. That, like, they wrote that entire part out of the show. I thought that the CIA element of that was absolutely insane.
Does it have to be? It could be a movie too. Okay, so I got to see Toy Story 4 at the wrap party like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think you can talk about Toy Story 4.
No, I'm saying it's not out yet, so I can't talk about what I would.
So why don't you just talk how cool? Like, let's just talk about for a second how cool you are.
So I went to the Toy Story 4 wrap party. I have to say, although there's some choices I disagree with, it was so much fun. It was such a fun movie. It had so many fun elements. It's so incredibly well done. You're watching it and you're going.
Dropping Toy Story 4 right now.
So you're just like, you're watching it and you're just going. Pixar is the best. They really are amazing. They're amazing.
Like, I'm just on my own podcast right now.
Yeah, I couldn't answer the question, so I came up with a better question.
Okay, classic move. All right. Well, let's move then to. Unless Lily, do you have one?
I guess I only watch stuff that I like.
So I, for example, I never would have had Andy and the redhead from Ellie Kemper. Is that who she was?
Oh, yeah.
I never would have had them break up. I would have kept Andy a sweet, nice character and kept their relationship going and not have her just fall in love with that, like, random teenager, the intern teenager.
Oh, from the end of The Office.
From the end of The Office.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't remember details enough like that.
Okay.
No, that's a good point. I remember. That's something that I would change.
So,
for sure.
So okay. So let's go.
Oh wait, no, I thought of one.
Oh, you thought of one. That's great.
Retcon, I would not have them write Ehrlich out of Silicon Valley. I think he is absolutely one of the funniest parts. I think it's fine.
But
the show
had an issue.
I just stopped watching the show
without him, but I get the show can work out without him. But he is so funny.
I actually would have shifted the show to be about him.
Stupid to write him out. They should have just worked out their differences.
Yeah, but he had like some major like sexual harassment accusations.
Oh really?
And, and then Yeah, no, and then he got himself
I
fired
retcon
from
my
the
retcon.
show. So then
Double retcon.
He got himself fired from the show because he spoke terribly about it publicly.
Well, I think he might have thought he was going to be a big star for the Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie is unwatchable, in case anyone's curious.
Okay. Please tell me it's as good as that Pokemon movie. Ugh.
Good.
Well, Pikachu at least has like Deadpool stuff in it, right? Because it's Ryan Reynolds.
That looks funny.
It's apparently like your kid, Tony. I think it's Tony. I don't know who, but Tony from the Take Two podcast. He wrote to me and said, "If you know Pokemon, it's really funny." But it was pretty funny, and I feel like it's like kids' first noir, is one way to describe it. But anyways, Tony and his kids really liked it.
The Emoji Movie is on my list of banned media. I have like a Chinese government system of censorship where I try not to let them know that certain movies exist.
Oh my God, what else is on that list? Please.
Boss Baby and all its derivatives.
My kids watch the Boss Baby cartoon a lot.
really hard.
Shai, but you've seen the Emoji Movie, right?
No, I haven't been able to sit through it.
I feel like
one of the characters. One of the characters is poop.
Yeah, but
Sir
Shai, you
Patrick
don't know
Stewart.
how emojis work or what they are, so I feel like it would be
It's not
educational.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah,
That's a joke.
Oh no, I don't know if he's.
It
in
is.
Oh.
He's the poop.
Oh my God, that is amazing and terrible at the same time.
I know.
And I think we found the name of our episode. Patrick Stewart is the poop.
It's as if we're trying to say he's like the shit.
All right.
But like,
All right, what have people been watching? Because I have some stuff, but I'm willing to let other people go first.
I need to know if Alon has seen Schitt's Creek because I can't stop.
No, I've heard it's great, but I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, you need, especially like
so
growing
good.
up in Canada, partly, and
yes.
like there's just because it's not overtly Canadian, but there's just something about it that's like enough Canadian because they're Canadian, all the actors pretty much.
Schitt's Creek is so good that I stopped
so
watching in
good.
the 4th season and just started rewatching it with Lily because like I'm afraid there only 2 seasons left after that and I don't want to run out, so I'm just rewatching it.
It's very rare that, and I guess the Goldbergs has this, it's just so rare that there's a comedy that's truly funny with great actors but has heart. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just
Parks and Rec, the Goldbergs, Superstore.
It's like takes it a little bit further than just being funny. It's smart funny.
Yeah, and Schitt's Creek surprises you because it starts off and you're like, oh, this might be like this might be like Arrested Development, and then it ends up actually being like more like Parks and Rec. And Lon's, man, she's the one who convinced me.
I highly recommend it.
Actually, gang, I'm in the need of a little Rex RX.
Go for it.
Here's my predicament. I'm going through a dry spell. I just finished binging a couple different things, and I'm out of content. My back is out, so I've been mostly at home taking it easy, and my husband's out of town, so I've got like nights to go crazy watching whatever I want, but I don't really feel inspired. Like I go to Netflix.
Catastrophe season 4.
Okay, so I'll do Catastrophe season 4.
So I'll
obviously start Schitt's Creek.
I'm gonna throw one out there.
Although I wonder if Vlad would like Schitt's Creek, so maybe.
There's no point in waiting for him.
Oh, just forget it. Yeah. He's not worth it.
Shai's looking for something
so
else.
good.
Because I watch things like Veep and Barry and that stuff on HBO. We like catch up, but like we watch it together, so it'll be like on a Sunday we'll like watch a couple episodes or something. But
Alon, you have 3 children. Do you have time to watch TV?
No way, watch television.
I don't watch as much as I'd like. I don't spend enough time with my television. But I
Because you have all those kids.
I would recommend. You may have already seen this. It's very short and easy to watch, and it's like been written up a lot of places. I think you should leave. Have you guys seen that? It's a new sketch comedy show on Netflix. It's by the Lonely Island guys, and then
I never heard of that.
Yeah, is that good?
That's great.
it's really
I
really
probably
funny.
don't have it in Netflix in Spain, so I'll watch it here.
Yeah, it's great, and the episodes are 16 minutes long. They're kind of
We've discovered that's a great time length for a show.
And it's just kind of the sketches are they're very absurdist. Some of them are very loose and kind of like hostile to their own premises. Some of them are more conventionally structured, but they're all really. It's like overall, it's extremely funny show, and the main actor is this guy Tim Robinson, who's like a Chicago comedian who is just really good at being sad and desperate. It has like. Because it's Lonely Island, like it has like Will Forte's in one of the sketches, and Vanessa Bayer, and I think Andy Samberg is in one. I haven't seen the one that he's in yet, but it's all very, very good and very very easy to watch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My Rex RX for you, Beck, is I think that there are 4 original shows on Amazon that are a little more crime oriented, a little more heisty, that I think are probably pretty underrated. But I'll start with Sneaky Pete, Giovanni Ribisi, Cranston. He's a guy who assumes someone identity, and there's all sorts of heisty stuff that happens. The first season of Sneaky Pete is like an easy entree into the Amazon drama crime shows, but if you want something a little bit more cop noir, I love Bosch. I think Bosch with Titus Welliver it's like watching a gritty crime novel with Dad.
Yeah, I think you turned 40 early.
Yep.
So Beck, I'm
super accurate.
So Candice Martellaro, the woman who writes for Fembot PhD and wrote the Vampire Creek episode of Stand Against Evil, is doing an Ask Me Anything right now on Twitter. So I thought we could ask her. Hopefully, we could ask her what show you should watch. And I said, what shows should I give as examples of things you like? You like Friday Night Lights, right? What else do you like?
I mean, I feel like that's like saying you like puppies.
But give me a few
everyone
more.
likes Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, Queer Eye,
Veep.
and
I don't know. Game of Thrones and Great British Baking Show. I am all over the place, people.
Okay, Game of Thrones, Great British Baking Show. Okay, so I'm gonna.
I mean, basically what I'm saying is recommend anything. I'll probably watch it.
Well, I
don't have like a gutter palette. I feel like I'll watch absolutely any genre as long as it is quality storytelling. Except for like horror. Well, I can't like do American Horror Story. I can't do that.
Well, okay. So, are those good? Which recommendation are you most likely to take, Beck, of the ones that you just got?
Catastrophe.
Well, here's the thing. I'm also like a very mood-based watcher, so it's like I don't know that I'm in the mood for it yet. That's been my problem. It's like, what am I in the mood for?
Catastrophe is an emotional investment.
Yeah, it is an emotional investment. That's true.
Yeah. The episodes are very short though, so you can get emotional quickly.
It is it's a very good.
Alon, I have a recommendation for you, even though you didn't ask for one.
Yeah, I have one.
I'm with you, Lily.
But I feel like because you really you got me back on that 15-minute show. And I feel like you don't have that much time, so Special, I feel like, is a great one if he wants to watch.
Yeah, but do you feel like
Netflix.
he's going to like it?
Yeah, I think it's really funny.
Maybe. I'm not sure he's going to like it.
So
But it is,
Just have to watch and we'll find out.
I love that, Beck. I love that you came with a Rex RX request.
Wait, I missed the whole recommendation because we got a crying baby over here. Do you
That's
recommend
okay.
that? Do you recommend crying
well,
baby?
hold on, I have a crying baby over here, and I didn't go over to her. I'm just saying.
Alon has triple the amount of children that you have.
I was thinking about that today when we were getting ready to pod and how tired I was taking care of Miri, and I'm like, oh, he has 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
What does he
3.
Exactly.
do?
So,
I'm one of the children.
one of the children just grabbed the mic. He's on the mic. What shows do you watch? What shows do you like, Ezra?
I like, I don't know.
Huh?
I like movies.
What movies do you like?
I like, well, one of the movies I like is maybe Minions.
Okay. Minions is a big winner. What about the ones with the dogs that go to space?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Ooh, they're coming out with a new Pet's Life. I like the first one.
Oh, yeah, I like
Secret Life of Pets.
Secret-
the
yeah, that
Life of
one.
Pets.
Okay, Mom.
I want to
there's
see the
another
second
one
one.
Pet's
coming
Life.
out.
The
Yeah,
Pet's
that
I'm
looks
Life.
turning into mom, guys.
All
I'm
right.
just turning into mom.
Yeah. So Lily wants to see Pet's Life too, whatever that movie is. She's just making up titles for things. So speaking of pets and animals, I watched last night with my kids.
Hotel for Dogs, too.
No, the
Dog
original
pageant. Dog.
Show Dogs.
Beverly Hills
Show Dogs.
Chihuahua Show Dog.
Dogs.
I watched the original 1974 classic Benji.
74?
Yeah, 74.
Oh,
I'll be right
God.
back.
No wonder.
My child is screeching terrifying sounds.
Oh, okay.
1974. No wonder that movie's terrifying.
So, the movie is terrifying. Like, half the movie, the way it's shot, seems like it might be a Manson family documentary or...
Oh my God, put Becky on mute. She doesn't remember to put herself on mute.
Oh boy, muted. So it kind of is filmed like a 70s horror film, the way the camera is shot, and also 50% of the movies is just dogs running in slow motion with like disco tunes like playing in the background, and there's a really intense kidnapping plot, and at one point the bad guy Mitch kicks Tiffany.
Oh, I remember that.
That was intense. So
and you think that she's like dead.
Yeah, there was a lot of. So my kids cried through a lot of it, but at the end they said that it gave them a lot of feelings and they liked it. I don't think they're ever going to watch it again, but I'm really glad we watched it together.
Alon, have you showed your kids The Sandlot?
No, we have not watched The Sandlot.
I feel like that's the only reason to have kids. It's just so you can watch The Sandlot.
We watched The Sandlot,
generation.
but then we got to the barfing scene, and my kids started to cry, and we had to stop. It really upset them. And so when I showed them Benji, the thing that they asked me was, is there any barfing in this movie? We don't want to see him. I said, guys, barfing is really funny. Barfing should be in all movies. The other animal-based thing I'm watching that's a throwback to our... The other more animal-based thing that I'm watching from our childhood, sort of from our childhood, is the Netflix series Watership Down, which is a
this just
CGI
seems
version.
counterintuitive. Why would you want to watch a show about one of the also most terrifying animal-related like Nazi allegories of all time?
It's actually like a terrific... So first of all, the original animated movie is a masterpiece, and it's heavy. It's definitely intense. It's got some Art Garfunkel music playing in the background. The new one is very, very similar. It's really the same story. They just tease it out and give you more time with the characters, and they also strengthen the roles of a lot of the female characters. So I would say, even though it doesn't have the visual intensity of the original, it's actually like fantastic.
Is it the same story?
It's the same story. It's the same story with just a little bit more layers, but there's some dialogue and stuff that's exactly the same from the original one, and the cast includes James McAvoy, John Boyega as Bigwig, and the bad guy General Runewort is played by Ben Kingsley. So it's very...
Here's the thing. Becky mentioned mood watching. You know, like you kind of have to be in the right mood to see something. My question to you is, what mood are you ever in that you're like, oh, I just want to watch a Watership Down show?
I have to say, I really, I just got in the mood and I started watching it, and it has a really intense pace to it, because, right, like, the movie's an allegory for people escaping from a place that is dangerous to them and trying to find a home somewhere else, and there's a little bit of refugee metaphors in there, and there's some, and there's different types of societies. In some ways, Lily, it reminded me of Walking Dead. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of Walking Dead, but the whole, like, how society treats you when you're on the move and what different...
I'm a huge fan of Walking Dead, so I feel like if this is the closest you're going to get to watching that show, then I approve.
Yeah. Do they have the full Frith mythology?
It opens with the Frith mythology. It's actually less
with the Raw.
Yeah,
right?
it's actually done... It's done quicker and less dramatic, but they do the whole Frith mythology at the beginning. They in some ways, a lot of things in this version make more sense than in the original movie. The original movie has grazes across things. In this, they explain a lot.
Okay, I wonder that when that original movie came out, how many parents accidentally took their children to see it?
Probably a lot. I think parents just took their kids to see movies like that in the 70s.
They would just go up to the box office and be like, you got any dog kicking movies?
Simpler times. Now our children have to watch Trolls and Boss Babies.
No Boss Babies.
So I don't know where Becky is, but Candace wrote back right away, and she said, so here's what she writes. She writes, thank you. She says, if you have FX, watch and Becky would love this. This is so perfect. What We Would Do in the Shadows TV series. She says it's really won her over, and that I've been laughing out loud watching it. And I feel like, you know, for Becky saying that she doesn't have a type, Becky's the person who introduced us to What We Do in the Shadows. So, Candace, that was an amazing pull. Great job. You totally nailed something that Becky would love. And we think you are awesome. And we love Fembot PhD. And we will keep watching that. With that, I feel like we should wrap up. Any shout-outs? I just did my shout-out, Lily.
Shouting out to Howie again this week, 2 weeks in a row, because he wore our T-shirt to go running. Our Friday Night Movie T-shirt.
Our Friday Night Movie workout shirts that will be available at
Comic-Con at Tyson's Corner, Virginia, on the 7th and 8th of
and 9th.
8th and 9th. Just kidding. Oh, in my head I was like, oh my god, I'm getting a chance to say it instead of shy, and then I screwed it up. The 8th and 9th of I was about to say August. It is not. It's June.
Will you all be there?
What's wrong with my brain?
All three of
all
us.
Of us.
All three of us will be there. As will Allie, as will the kids, as will my parents. And the Friday Night Movie home game will be there, which we'll be playing at the table and taping bits with people. We'll also have this Friday Night
our
Movie...
amazing workout shirts that apparently I got 2 thumbs up from Howie that he went running in it, and we'll have those giveaways.
The Friday Night Movie spinning wheel will be there, which is another game that we have, and an incredible sculpture that my sister made. My sister had made for me...
Did you show it to Alon?
I haven't showed him yet because we came right down to tape. A 3D printed version of the Pancake character.
Wow.
And it's like on a stand, and she
I
hand painted it. So it's this guy hand painted, and it's like a bona fide awesome like comic book, like those cool busts that you see. So that will be there with us.
Can I quickly just say what happened when I had it printed?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I go to get it printed, and the person who does it has to like create the design in 3D. But I showed him a picture of Mr. Pancake, but in the picture there's no legs. So I just said, can you just draw like 2 black pants, and some shoes or whatever, because I want it to be like standing on a pedestal. And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. When I go to pick it up, it's wearing a skirt. And I go, what is this? This is not what I ordered. And he's like, well, I figured, it's better just put her in a skirt because it looked nicer. And I was like, put who? It's a girl. This girl Pancake. I was like, that's a boy.
Is this
and I
supposed to be
wanted wearing
Shy?
pants.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's me. That's Lily. That's Becky.
I was going to ask that question because I do think that,
Is the
the head
feminine?
is very... The Pancake, I'd say, is, between androgynous and masculine. The body... I would put in the same place, but now that I know, I can see that it's Shy because he's wearing the shirt right now.
I'm wearing the same outfit. I'm wearing the same outfit right now.
But I go to him, I was like, regardless if it was a boy or girl, I just asked for pants. Like, I didn't ask you to improvise on the wardrobe of the 3D figurine that I wanted.
It's like, look, she's single, she's a pancake, I just want to give her a shot out there,
Totally. That's pretty much what happened. So he redid it, so now it looks the way I wanted it to look.
With an enormous penis.
Right. It's not even like a gender thing. I was just like, I don't want it in a skirt. I want it in pants.
All right, Alon, do you have a shout out?
I'm going to reflexively shout it right back out to you. Thank you for having me on again, and I'm very excited for the Comic-Con experience, and also to Ezra, who came in briefly.
Lifted weights.
Guest appearance.
He lifted weights and then, gave his review of Minions.
Eventually left. Yeah, I didn't know he loved Minions so much. I should really let him watch that again. It's very violent, though.
And with that, Becky is back in time for shout-outs.
You have to unmute her.
I unmuted myself.
Becky, just so you know, Candace tweeted back the answer, but we already read it. But she recommends recommends What We Do in the Shadows. So I feel like the TV show.
Oh my God! Why didn't I think of that? That's perfect.
So because you're the person of the three of us that got that show first. So I feel like you thought
that
you thought that all that information about you was, like too general. She nailed it.
She knows me. She understands me.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's pretty awesome. So, Becky, shout-outs because we're wrapping up.
Yeah. Becky, the other other movie he made that we love so much is it Beasts of the Southern Wild?
Yeah.
That's a movie. Alon, Shai's gonna have to text that to you, or I'll text that to you. You gotta see that movie if you haven't.
No, I haven't
Beasts
seen
of
it.
the Southern Wild.
No, not Beasts of the Hunt for the Wilder People.
Hunter for the Wilder People. I knew I was getting it wrong.
It's a very different movie.
Beasts of the Southern Wild. Right.
Lily is the Fanya. We don't even have to have mom. We don't even have to have. We don't have to have mom. We don't have to have mom guest on the show anymore. We can just have Lily play her.
Turning into her. Right. Hunt for the Wilder People. I knew you'd figure it out. That movie is made by the same guy high as What We Do in the Shadows, Taika
And
Waititi.
Thor Ragnarok. Yeah.
And Thor Ragnarok he made.
Yeah.
But that movie, Hunt for the Wilder People, is phenomenal.
It's actually pretty incredible.
Beck, shout out.
Shout out to @Janine G Wellness for coming over this morning and providing some much needed wellness and support. So shout out to her and to the babysitter who's dealing with my child right now. Oh God.
Sounds good.
So
All
much
right.
crying.
Where can people follow you, Beck?
@Paper BK Princess on Twitter.
Lily, where can people follow you?
Chichi K. Gomez on Twitter.
You don't want anyone
They
to
want to
find
follow
you.
me, they can just find my minivan and hold on to the undercarriage.
And you can follow me @Pancake4Table. You can follow all of us @Fry Night Movie on Twitter and Instagram. And come hang with us at All-Star Comic-Con. The music from What Does It Eat kicks in, and we dance.
Do you really have a minivan?
Yeah.
Is it a
You?
real one? Did you rent
You
it?
do?
Did you buy it?
No, that's ours.
Oh, you bought it. I thought that you guys
Where do you
did, like...
Park a car.
Where do you park?
We
Where do you park?
Expensive
we
as
rent
buying
from
an
another
apartment.
old lady in
I
our complex.
I figured you were doing like the crazy like drive around New York and park, like move your car every few days.
No, we couldn't do that. No, we actually rent a spot. It's like quote unquote reasonable, and the minivan is really improved our lives. It's
Oh, I would imagine. I just, like Becky said, I wouldn't like if you had to buy another apartment to park it in.
yeah.
There's no parking.
We got a lucky space. We're just trying to hold on to this woman who I think goes to Florida all the time, so she doesn't use it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we gotta go run. Love
Okay,
you. Great
so
job,
much
everyone.
fun seeing
Great
you.
job.
Bye.
Bye.
Super awesome seeing you. Bye.
Bye.
This is great. You guys are monetizing your
Well, there's no-
relationship so well.
Monetize
money.
is a very generous term for
We
what we're
mostly
doing.
monetized spending on it.
Right.
Bring that up
If
with
you,
Becky.
by monetize you mean spending a lot of our own money, then yes.
Yeah, Becky.
Justifying this with spouses.
Yeah.
Or just not telling spouses.
Hopefully.